Hi guys, welcome to the Fourth Moment Show. My name is Shamil, and today we focus on community and community projects. And with me is former player Nasief Morris. Coach, welcome.
Shukran so much. Thanks for having me on here.
It's nice having you here. I think it's overtime or it's by due time. Busy schedules haven't allowed us to actually get together. So today we're talking to Coach Nasief about the new project that he's got in which is playing at Westridge High. But before we get there, we want to know, obviously, first, not that nobody knows, but I think what I find is a lot of the people, sort of my generation, a bit younger, we know who you are. We've watched you play football for Santos and for teams in Greece and so on. But for the younger players, they don't. A lot of them don't really know. So tell us about Nasief Morris, where he's from, and what you've achieved.
Yeah, well, obviously, from Mitchell's playing Beacon Valley. Started playing at Beacon Spurs for the first amateur club that I played for. Played there for a couple of years, and then I got one of the coaches that was, I think, under 15, was involved with Santos. So they suggested, I should go there for trials and stuff like that for the Bale tournament. And ended up going, and I made the team. I was supposed to be under 17 at that year.
Okay.
So I made the under 19 team. So I played 2 generations under 19. So that means 4 Bale tournaments that I played. Twice I won it. The last one I got to play with the tournament. So that was the start. And then actually with the first year in my under 19 season, I got offered the first team contract at Santos.
Okay.
I think that was the first year back in the PSL. And then I started. I signed on Monday. Wednesday I started. Friday I started. Played the 90 minutes and played against Wits University at Athlone Stadium. Drew 0-0. It's like it happened yesterday. That's how fresh it is in my mind still. And then I kind of just kicked it off from there. Made the national team under 20. Then under 23 moved abroad to Europe, Greece. Played there for Aris for a smaller team. 2 years. Went to Panathinaikos, one of the biggest clubs in Greece. Played Champions League, things like that, and just moved on from there to Spain. Played in La Liga for 2 years, Cyprus, and then I moved back again after 10 years away.
What was the team in La Liga again that you played for?
The one was Recreativo Huelva. They got relegated that year when I was with them. And then I went to Racing Center the next year. And then Cyprus 1 year, Apollon. And then I moved back to South Africa.
What is the look? It's quite a journey, and it's not too many clubs that you've changed with, obviously. So you've made it was Steadfast where you were. What are sort of the things that's the highlight for you in your playing career? Sort of in your highlight of your playing career.
My dream was always to play at the highest level, play against the best in the world, and I managed to do that especially with Panathinaikos, where I had a vast spell of my playing career, 5 years playing for them.
Okay.
And Champions League, playing against teams like Barcelona, United, Arsenal, coming up against those type of players, and that was I think the highlight of my career, something that I dreamt of, and it became a reality.
I remember there's a famous photo of, is it you tackling Messi or you with Messi? Who was it?
Yeah, there's a couple. There's one with Messi, there's one with Ronaldinho, and
so that must have been. I mean, look, obviously at that time you were sort of you playing against them, so it's you at their level. But surely there must have been some sort of admiration for players like that. How did you feel? Or wasn't it like that?
No, I always used to prepare myself, knowing that they at a higher level than me. But when it comes onto the field, it's 11 against 11. So I just put it in my mind, that we all humans, we competing, and somehow they're going to bring out the best in me as well.
Yes. Okay.
So that's just keep a positive mindset, knowing that you can compete with these people, because that's the reason why you're there at the game or at that level, because you're competing with these guys.
Yeah. I remember, a lot of people, sometimes when I think we all have it, if you hear a name of somebody, then there's always a thought, something that you think of that person. So look, obviously I grew up, I think we must be a similar age, but I mean, I remember playing for Santos, watching you playing for Santos and so on. And when I hear Nasief Morris, I always remember Clive Barker, the late Clive Barker. I think he was on TV, had an interview or something like that. And he said Nasief Morris won't stay in South Africa. He's probably one of the best defenders in the country. And you proved him right, because then from there on you went on to Greece and to Spain, and you basically proved yourself.
Yeah, no. Speaking about iconic legend like Clive Barker, I mean, I think he played a big role in my career as well.
Yeah.
Because when he joined the club, I wasn't a regular player in the team at that time, and then he started playing me a bit more regularly. And then when he saw, like, obviously, like, that I have the capability, he started making comments like that, like I should be in the national team. I won't play long in South Africa. I'll be abroad.
Yeah.
And I think he was the one. He's that type of person. He can put you on a high, like, just like that.
Okay.
That is the type of person he was, like, whatever. Because I still remember the last game I played for Santos. I think the second last game was the cup final against Sundowns.
Okay.
Bobsleigh Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That was the last Bobsleigh tournament, and we won it against Sundowns. And before the game, I was actually injured, and he had a go at me before the game, like saying to me, if I break down, I should break down early. And I managed to finish the game, and we ended up winning the game. And me and Andre, I think, was the two best players on the day, like, And so he, like I said, like, he played a big role and motivational side of things, to make sure that he gets the best out of you.
Yeah, and obviously that's why he was such an awesome.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so we fast forward. Playing days are over. You come back.
Yeah.
You found yourself doing what?
Yeah. Well, after I think Milano's franchise was sold, like, I decided, like, maybe it's time to just end up giving up. But
you came back and you played in the was it the NFD?
Yeah, no, first I played for Supersport for 6 months.
Okay.
Came back to Santos on loan for 6 months. Santos got relegated, and then decided, like, I'm going to stay in Cape Town, try and help the team. Played another 2 years, I think, and then after that I wanted something more challenging, because it didn't seem like there was any aspirations of the team getting back into the PSL. So I tried to go to Milano, spent there 3 years, and then obviously after a while they decided to sell the team. And then I thought, like, maybe it's time to give up. But my intention was never to become a coach or to get into coaching, because just of the things that I've experienced over my career, like, seeing how certain coaches does things, and I didn't want to do those things. And then one day I just kind of got involved with the Kappa, and I saw a different side of coaching, also I think with the guys that I was working with, like, made me see things a little bit different. And I thought, like, okay, if this is the way, then I think I can get into it.
Okay.
So, but actually while I was playing my last season, I ended up doing my D license, and then the next year my C license.
Okay.
So while I was playing, I was doing that, and just in case I do decide I'm going to go in. Yeah, and then I ended up coaching Ikapa a couple of years in the ABC.
Yeah.
Magic for 1 season, and then I got an opportunity at Steenberg.
NFD.
Yeah, Steenberg NFD as a head coach, and then moved on to Cape Town Spurs as an assistant with Dylan. Then Sean came in. We got promotion with the Cape Town Spurs, and so I have obviously a little bit of experience in the PSL as well.
Yeah. So obviously that coaching journey is something you're looking to continue.
Obviously it's something, but obviously the focus that I have, like, it's something different with the project that I want to do. So it might take a little bit more of my time. So, I need to try and manage and see how we're going to handle both. Yeah.
Let's talk about that project now. I think it's time to talk about it. So you have now, is it a NPO organization? Or it's called N5?
Yes.
Obviously N for Nasief and 5.
Yeah, for the number that I normally used to use. Of course. Yeah.
So tell us about it. We were at the groundbreaking last week, which was, I think, well attended, and it was quite a landmark in, let me say, not just Mitchells Plain, but Cape Town football. But tell us about it. What's the idea? Where did it come from? And
so actually, a friend of mine had kind of put the idea in my mind, like, just to kind of have something, like, build a legacy for myself, because in football in South Africa, especially in South Africa, people tend to forget, like, the ex-pro players, like, and things like that, like, so I wanted to leave something behind for my family, for my kids and things like that, and thought what better way would be, like, to get involved, like, in development, help kids and things like that. So it's a process that started, like, I tried to start it in 2019. Obviously COVID hit, and then obviously everything was messed up then. But, like, my company and things was all registered by then. All those things, and when I got the opportunity, like, to try and find a venue, that was the main thing. Like, now, once I had the venue, then I knew I could, start what I actually wanted to start. Like, and fortunately enough, with Westridge High, I got the lease agreement with them. So now I got my own facility, and so now it's just building it up, and then taking it from there.
Was the focus always to get it in Mitchell's Plain, or was it just to get a facility?
Firstly, it was a facility, but then obviously I started thinking about things like, and I was like, why not in Mitchell's Plain? And because it's where I come from, so it's going to be a massive thing for me. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of support from everybody. Sure. And I first went to Princeton High, actually, because that's where I attended.
Is it?
And yeah, so obviously like things, we couldn't come to an agreement. And then I just decided, okay, let me go to Western High. And then obviously I know Mr. Gasnola, that's a teacher there and involved in football all the years. And then I pitched the proposal to them and they were super excited, and then obviously was back and forth with a lease agreement. Finally, we came to an agreement and we signed the deal.
Is it, can you share how long you're going to be there?
Look, for like, I think with the normal schools like in Cape Town, they only allowed to give you a 9-year lease. Okay. So I've got a 9-year lease with Westridge High.
Okay. So with regards to firstly the infrastructure, so we know what Westridge High looks like at the moment. Unfortunately, it's not the same as it was when Mr. Price Parkers was there, when we had 4 lovely fields with lights and. I mean, for those from Mitchell's Plain and for those that play there who remember the facility now, it's not the same. So in terms of the infrastructure, can you give us maybe a visual or explanation of what's going in there now?
Yeah, so what's going to happen is like on the furthest field from the school, like close to the gate, Westwood Road, that is where I'm going to do the Astro courts.
Okay.
So because it's going to be constantly active and stuff like that, I wanted to have it away from the classes on the school.
Oh, okay.
So that will be the courts, and then obviously the idea to have a clubhouse.
Yeah.
And then instead of the 2 grass fields, that's like in a smaller size, I'm actually going to change the angle of it and let it run across, so I can have 2 massive 11 size fields, grass fields. That will be.
Okay.
So the one closest to the school will be ideally for the school to use there for athletics and for the school team, like, and then have one like match field, like that's just going to be for matches and stuff.
Yeah.
And so then do coaching clinics with the kids on the courts mostly.
Yeah.
Things like that. So what I want to also implement is like the schools leagues. So if I can get like most of the primary schools in Mitchell's Plain, maybe on the 5 courts, get them to interact in a league like or tournaments like there, and then the high schools like run it on the grass fields. So then use it for as like talent identification also as well. Because for me, I think a lot of kids are overlooked, like, because if you look at like our junior national teams nowadays, it's all been selected from the DDC teams, by some ABC teams and NFD teams. So there's a lot of talent out there that's overlooked, like, and like I said before, the process that I went through and a lot of us back then was through schools football, making the Western Province team, playing interprovincial tournaments, getting selected there for the national under 20 or under 17 team. So with that, you have a bigger pool of variety of players that you can actually look at. So now that is the downfall that we have. I think that's the reason why a lot of our kids go off the rail and things.
You're saying courts. How many courts are there going to be?
Look, the idea is to have 2 7-a-side courts.
Okay, so slightly bigger than
slightly bigger, yeah. But then if you take a 7-a-side court and you cut it in half, it automatically gives you exact 5s, 2 5s.
Oh, okay.
So you can convert the 7 into 2 5s.
Okay.
So there will be 2 color lines, obviously. One will be for the 7s, and then the other one will be divided different color for the 5s. Okay. So if you do like smaller kids where they want to have a tournament, you can make 5s. But if the guys wants to use a bigger court, you have a 7-a-side court. Which I think is ideal for development, because our juniors, I think from below under 12, I think needs to play on a smaller pitch and smaller goals,
touches,
So
And in terms of the buildings, are you using the school for obviously you're going to have offices or something. Surely there must be. Is that part of the school or you?
No. That's why I have the idea to build a clubhouse, which will entail like obviously change rooms, small shop like and things like that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Upstairs would be like obviously off my office, and then the open plan.
We got double story also.
Yeah, that's because I got a design of like what it's going to look like more or less already. So the upstairs I want to make a layout, like for example, like a canteen area, like where it's open plan. So if you want to have events and things like that, you can use it for that as well. Like
that sounds exciting. So that's in terms of the physical infrastructure. what is it that you want to do there? Because obviously there's going to be activity that's going to be special.
So like I said, like with the kids, obviously the courts, obviously, like I said, like it's going to generate funds because we're going to have to sustain the thing. So that will be self-sustainable, and then that money goes back into the project where we kind of do the coaching clinics and things like that. Which the idea is not, it's not going to be like completely free for everybody.
Sure.
Because like I said, it needs to be sustainable.
Yeah.
But we want to try to do at least once or twice a month where we do like free clinics, like, you know, for kids that's underprivileged and whatever, just to have them there, give them those kind of training as well, like the rest is getting.
Yeah.
And like that's, I said, like with the community, like trying to get them involved.
Yeah.
And like the way I explained about the facility, there's going to be a lot of hands that's going to need needed there. So it creates opportunity for people in the area, like also, you know, employment and stuff like that. So that's the whole picture kind of thing, like with for the kids, even the adults community, like trying to help people, you know, those kind of things. And obviously I have another plan or an idea for as time goes on, because I want to try and with the schools league, like for example, select a team, coach that team, and then try to take them abroad to the clubs that I played for, just to give them that opportunity of seeing what football is like abroad, the lifestyle, those kind of things, the culture, and hopefully, like, you know, give them an opportunity, like if they get spotted.
So if I understand correctly, so the whole facility that or the project is basically, it's for the community. It's for you basically hosting them to come for the kids to come do the training, for the coaches and other people that might work there. It's employment opportunities. You're not starting a club. You're not starting. So, and then obviously, like you say, maybe further down the line, if you identify a team that can maybe which you can take somewhere. Is that the idea?
That's the idea. Like like it's not going to be a club. It's not an academy. It's like basically just for development for kids. Like, you know, trying to guide them. But then, like I said, like on the later stage, like if there's an opportunity, maybe an ABC team or franchise, like for example, that I can get, it's just to kind of develop the guys and like you know, if they can move on to other bigger clubs after that.
I think for everything to evolve, things need to change. So obviously you start where you start.
Exactly.
And as it evolves, if the opportunity comes and you find it sustaining itself, then you can go into that. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, definitely. I mean, like I always used to say, I think the talent that comes out of Mitchells-Plain, we should have had our own PSL team already.
You know, there was a couple of years ago, somebody did a survey. It was a few years, about 5-6 years ago, where they calculated there was 144 active players in the NFD and PSL just from Mitchells-Plain. 144, only from Mitchells-Plain. So I mean, I think this is a project that it's highly overdue, and it sounds exciting that what I'm getting from it, it's you offering an opportunity for the community of Mitchells-Plain. So the guys from Mitchells-Plain, look, first of all, nothing's for free in life. So don't think it's free and because you know Nasief and whatever, you're gonna couple you a job or something like that. Because the idea of it is bigger than that. Like you say, and the way you were explaining it to me and what you said in the beginning, it is a legacy that you're probably going to leave behind if obviously if everything, if it
like you say, like now, like, I mean, nothing is for free, like, because at the end of the day, everybody must understand it's money that we're putting down to build this infrastructure, like to get it off the ground. So it needs to be sustainable, like as well, like I told you. So it needs to be a business kind of thing as well, so you can keep the thing running. It's definitely if you got a sponsor that comes on board and said, like, you know, we're covering everything, boom, then it's a different story, because then we can have free coaching clinics every week, for example, like for kids, like, you know. But until the time we get there, I think the whole thing will happen, like once the thing is up and running, and people see like that it's actually good and it's beneficial for everybody. Then maybe like I think corporate companies then will come along and say, like, you know, we can do this, we can do that. That is actually what we would like at the end of the day, to make it so much easier and sufficient for the community. And you were saying like for the Mitchells-Plain community, but for me also, like even the outside, like Kailicha, those guys. Those are all like people that will be welcome and part of the thing as it grows. Hopefully, like we can expand and put it in those areas, like on a later stage, like when things is
when it's
kind of financially sustainable. So,
when are we starting to build? When is construction starting?
the plan is end of January. We wanted to start now in November or already, but obviously looking at the timeline, it won't be ready. So then you're going to spend money on security, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
Worrying about like damages and stuff being stolen. So the idea is then to wait for everything to open in January, end of January, to start with the Astro courts. That will be our first phase, like that we start with.
Yeah.
So, like I said, like depending on who comes on board, like who I get in the next couple of months, to determine whether we're going to do the clubhouse and the courts at the same time. But for now, the courts is the main objective for us.
Yeah.
And then we'll just have to use maybe containers or so, like just for the start until the clubhouse is completed, like and things. Yeah.
Is there sort of a timeline you got in your mind to finish? I know it's not going to be. It's all dependent on how things go. But when would you like it to be done?
Well, if I have to go back a year ago or more, like almost a year ago, my idea was like then, but then we had an issue with the lease. Like obviously we couldn't agree to it. My idea was like I would allow it to have it open on Youth Day and just have a massive event on that day.
Yeah.
So now looking at the time frame, the idea would be what they gave me was 2 to 3 months for the courts to be completed.
Okay.
So that would put us like at the end of April or beginning of May. But like I said, like depending on how things goes, if the clubhouse is also busy being built that time, then I might delay it for another month and then do it on Youth Day, like in June.
Yeah. Okay.
So that would be ideal, like, then have an opening with the courts, the clubhouse, and just run a massive event like on that day.
On the day, yeah. I think I don't have any more questions. Is there anything else that you want to add?
No, I think that's basically like most of the stuff that we discussed about, like going forward, like, So my thing is just like finally, like last week we had the groundbreaking, or launch, if you can call it, and so it seemed like everybody knows like now it's not just talks, like So waiting for end of January, like once that first piece of sand or grass needs to be moved, like in whatever, then
then it's started.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So guys, listen, you've heard the story now from the man himself. I think what the project calls for is support from community, and support doesn't have to be financially. It can be positiveness also. Let's talk to people about it. Let's get excited about it, because it is something to be excited about. The fact that there's going to be opportunity for kids from school, and like you said earlier on, the teams, the way the teams are selected, if there's so much talent out there that can't make an academy training 4 times a week, or right now because the necessities or something else, or the priorities are different. Here's an opportunity for them maybe to be seen and so on. So Coach Nasief, that's all from my side. I don't know. All I can say is best of luck. You got the support of the fourth moment. That's all I can say. Hopefully we can stay in touch, and as things happen, keep us informed, and we can let everybody know what's happening.
Yeah, no, we can do that as things goes along. Like I'm sure, like on social media, everything will be posted. We'll try and share everything so people can see how the progress is going. And exciting times to come up there.
Guys, that's Coach Nasief Morris. Please stay positive when those social comments come out or the releases. Let's be positive about it. This is somebody from our community. A lot of us are from Mitchells Plain, outside of Mitchells Plain, trying to get back into Mitchells Plain, trying to uplift the community. And for, like Coach Nasief said also, it's also for areas outside of Mitchells Plain. It's for the community of football. So thanks for coming to chat to us. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this community focus segment, and we'll see you next time.